This is a good change. Love it. It has no negative impact. Unless I have a noob brain and I'm wrong. That's good stuff. Untradeable too. Yes, good. Not just here's my credit card, give me the best weapons. Hey, I'm Jolly. I'm a longtime old school RuneScape player who has been currently playing through modern RS3 unguided. No guides, wikis, video guides. I'm on a journey to get the quest cape without any guides. But as I go along my journey, I'm always curious about the new updates, and it turns out that Dungeoneering is getting a revamp. I've had very little experience so far, but I thought this would be a cool video to check out and react to together from the perspective of a new RS3 player, a noob. So let's check it out.
On April 12th, 2010, RuneScape released Dungeoneering, changing RuneScape forever. The landscape of Gielinor has changed a lot in the last 16 years though. The team over at Jagex decided to bring Demonheim up to par with the modern game. I'm Rayo, and today I'll be covering everything there is to know about the Dungeoneering remaster. First, I want to clarify that this isn't a remake, but a remaster. Dungeoneering's core values and gameplay loop remain completely untouched, meaning you can enjoy a Gielinorian spelunk the same way you always have.
So that's interesting because at first when I heard about this, I was thinking that they were going to be overhauling the system entirely. Now I played this originally back when it first came out for like a little bit. Like, you know, we grew up with this game, you hear a new skill comes out. Was that not one of the first new skills like after Hunter? I'm pretty sure it was. And I've done a little bit of Dungeoneering on stream. But I, for some reason, was convinced that they were overhauling the skill and changing how it worked.
The update instead focuses on improving the current system, removing friction, refreshing visuals, and even including some shiny new rewards from the Dungeoneering shop. There's even a little bonus for you diehard delvers, so stick around because you definitely don't want to miss it. Now, let's dive into the changes coming in the Dungeoneering remaster. Want to run dungeons, but go into a giant mole mass in 15 minutes? No problem, because you no longer need to bank prior to starting your run. Just grab your Ring of Kinship and dive right in.
That's pretty nice. That's pretty cool. With my little bit of Dungeoneering that I've done so far, having to take things off and make it. I remember going in to Dungeoneering thinking I had everything removed, and I left my grimoire from the one that like brings the bones to the chest automatically. I still had that on, and I was like, oh my God, I got to go back and bank again. Super nice that they're removing that. That is such a great quality of life.
Not only makes starting seamless, but it cuts out those extra few tedious steps for those of you who like to overload before a run. Grouping also receives some big changes. You're now able to group with anyone you'd like, meaning main accounts and irons can group together.
Now that's exciting stuff. I play through as an Iron Man unguided, but you know, I'm so thankful to have a bunch of friends that I've already made in game. This is cool. This could open up some pretty sweet opportunities, but how does the scaling work? What's that going to look like when most of my friends are like near max characters? I'm still a noob. Let's continue.
Hindrance to grouping was floor experience. Rerunning floors you've already done would essentially net you 50% potential experience, which could cause friction if you wanted to run floors with friends but were at different points of progression. This system has now been completely reworked. Your experience is directly tied to your Dungeoneering level in place of your prestige, with floor experience getting an overhaul to provide 100 experience per floor level. With the added bonus of no penalties on rerunning checked off floors, this will make your experience more reliable and grouping with friends will be much easier.
Wow, that's pretty cool to hear. So basically what I'm getting from that is if someone is a level 113 Dungeoneering and they group with me, level 17 Dungeoneering, that we can both have the same fun together and get the same like relative reward. That sounds pretty great.
All that to say, there is still a benefit to running unique floors, as prestige has now been replaced by the floor buff system. Completing a unique floor will now award you with one of the following stacking buffs: 1% experience reduction for dying in a dungeon, 2% chance of extra resources, 1% skilling experience boost, 1% damage reduction, and for every 5th unique floor, you'll unlock a 10% floor experience buff for all future runs, stacking up to 120% for completing all 60 floors. This boost is applied to the end dungeon screen alongside your other modifiers. It's designed to feel rewarding without restricting how you choose to delve.
Interesting. So that still sounds, and maybe I'm wrong, that still sounds like if you were to run not as deep of a floor with a friend, that there could still be some friction there. Like you're missing out on your XP boost. But is it that if you if you get to that max level floor and then you go back to the old floors, does the boost still apply? Maybe I'm a little confused there.
So take that experience boost and run whatever floors you'd like. When you enter
Oh, okay, so you get the boost once you finally get there, and then you can run any floors you like. Damn. Okay, so that's real. I think that's going to really help tie together the community, especially with Jagex trying to bring back the old essence of RuneScape, trying to bring in new people to give it a try. I think right there, they've just eliminated a lot of friction that could come from something like Dungeoneering. Now, granted, most players probably still play by themselves, and maybe I'm just being selfish here, but for someone like me, so far, this has got me pretty excited.
The very first thing you're going to notice is updated floor visuals. My personal favorite are the occult floors. They give this eerie sense of perfection, like they make me feel comfortable, but I shouldn't because I'm technically surrounded by evil occult stuff. Speaking of the occult though, you're now able to live your best life or unlife using the necromancy combat style. You will be able to craft up to tier 10 necro gear using bars from smithing and cloths from crafting after ensoling them at the brand new ritual site. With tier 11,
you know, I will say, not having access to necromancy while I was doing Dungeoneering, I'll be honest, I didn't even think about it when I was first down there, only because I'm still in my old school brain mindset of like, you know, melee ranged magic. Like necromancy is still new to me. Sometimes even when I'm, you know, doing Slayer or whatever, or going to do combat for a quest or whatever, I'm like, oh crap, yeah, necromancy is its own thing. I need to make sure I'm using it and leveling it. And I feel like for new players, we just sometimes forget about necromancy, honestly. But also, I hear it used to be really OP, maybe still is OP. Will that translate to necromancy being the full meta in Dungeoneering? I guess we'll just have to see.
Gear coming from boss drops. This ritual site is also used to create ectoplasm for summons and impure essence for necromancy runes. You may also encounter some new necromancy monsters in your delves, so prepare accordingly. Monsters and bosses in Daemonheim have also received a small buff to make them a bit more threatening, but not so threatening that it takes away from your hack and slash gameplay. Now onto my favorite quality of life change.
So far, as a newer player, going through the Dungeoneering bosses, it's a little bit of the weird scaling issue that I think just happens with low to mid-level characters, where sometimes enemies die so incredibly fast, it's like laughably like zero effort whatsoever. And then I seem to remember a couple floors having some bosses that really took a decent amount of time and almost died. And so I feel like that's something RuneScape 3 has just struggled with in general, is finding that balance, that scaling. So, you know, hopefully this doesn't screw over a new player like myself. Hopefully it still provides a good, satisfying challenge.
Door keys will now appear on the minimap. And on the same token, the Dungeoneering map will now display what locked rooms require in order to access them.
Oh, that is super handy. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Dude, the little Dungeoneering map thing that was there before, where it was just basically a bunch of squares. Like that's it, without like anything showing us anything. That is so handy. It makes you wonder why that wasn't there from the start, you know?
Whether that be a key or a skill door. Speaking of skill doors, these no longer have a hard level requirement. Instead, your level in the respective skill will now increase your chances of unlocking the door, meaning you will.
Wow. Okay. I remember being hard locked to not being able to access even like some lower level floors. I'm talking like level 4. And then there was like a fire making door that required fire making like 87. And I was like, what? Like, okay, I guess I just can't go. But I'm guessing now I'll be able to like, you know, fire making is like 55 or whatever, but like attempt to do it. If I click it enough and attempt enough, will I eventually get there? Is that how that works?
Always be able to fully unlock a dungeon if you're willing to fail a few times.
Wow, okay. I should have just let that finish out. You can fully unlock the full dungeon if you're willing to fail a few times. Very cool. Oh, for the completionist side of me, who, especially in Dungeoneering, there's something about wanting to open all the doors, open all the rooms, see everything that there is. And when you're just hard locked behind a level requirement, this is a good change. Love it.
The Smuggler has been given a few updates. We now have new loadout slots, extra bind slots, and a new storage system with the Smuggler. And the best change, he will teleport to the end of the dungeon after you defeat the boss. So if you forget to bind that tier 11 drop you've been chasing, then honestly at this point it's a skill issue. Now,
That's funny because I remember forgetting to bind something in my previous floors as I'm learning this. Because I learn without guides. My chat and stream helps me out a lot. And the YouTube comments, you guys really help too. But this is another quality of life improvement where when the smuggler pops up at the end, you're like, oh yeah, I got to bind that thing. I got to bind that weapon. Awesome. That doesn't make the game, that only makes things better. It has no negative impact. Unless I have a noob brain and I'm wrong. That's good stuff.
For my favorite part, the rewards. The initial release of Chaotix shook up the combat meta and account progression path, and that may just be the case here again. With this release, we are now seeing the introduction of new Tier 90 Ruinous weapons, which offer Tier 90 damage, Tier 100 accuracy, and Tier 100 damage when fighting creatures of Demonheim. These weapons require you to obtain a...
Those weapons look cool, and that's kind of all I can say about that right now, being someone who's very early mid-game as far as my combat stats go. Those look really sick. Like that, the red axes, the red wand, the red like crossbows. I think, and the red death guards too. I love the contrast from like the green, purple necromancy to the red. And it just stands out. It gives that essence of, oh crap, like this is the highest level stuff that's available. And at the end of the day, when it comes to MMOs and the essence of MMOs, when we all think back to when we were kids first getting into these, when you saw someone with the cool armor, and now too in RuneScape that you can disable cosmetic overrides. You get to see them holding the cool weapons and you're like, damn, they got the cool weapons. I want the cool weapons. That is bringing back the essence of what initially sparked me and probably a lot of you into getting into MMOs in the first place. Very cool.
These weapons require you to obtain a tradable item called the Warp Stone from the Warped Floors. This stone, along with tokens, can be used to purchase a ruinous weapon of your choice, creating an untradeable ruinous weapon. We're also seeing...
Untradeable too! Yes, good. Not just, here's my credit card, give me the best weapons. We love cool, untradeable things that you have to earn. More of that, please.
A new pocket slot item, the Chaotic Grimoire, which offers 7% crit chance with a very affordable recharge cost of 2k tokens per page. Necromancy has also been given the Demonheim treatment, introducing its own Chaotic set, Gravite set, Power Amulets, and of course, Ruinous Weapon set. On top of this, Chaotic weapons now only require 70 Dungeoneering, making them better fit the overall account progression path. Other beneficial unlocks from the store are the Archaeology Scroll, which gives you a chance to bank materials when excavating.
Ooh! Even me, early in my archaeology grind, you know, sitting around level 50-ish or so. Hell yeah. I like the sound of that.
The retro celestial robes, as well as Thok's worst nightmare, the ferret pet. You'll be able to obtain the various...
Ooh. That is a cool pet. I like that. I like how... I love pets that are just simple, but iconic. What can be more iconic than a ferret?
Colors of the ferret pet as well, making it match whatever fashion you're sporting. Speaking of pets, the Edemu pet has officially been converted to a companion pet.
Wait, do you get the ferret from Dungeoneering, or is it this guy, Eddie? Which, is that a reference to Iron Maiden? Eddie? I don't actually know. Shows what a noob I am. Sorry if I was cringing like, you get a ferret from Dungeoneering?
So for all you little freaks who spent half a year grinding this pet, I'm happy for you. All right, you've been patiently waiting, so what is this special bonus for all you diehard delvers? Speedrunning. Jagex is releasing an official speedrunning system on May 18th, 1 week after the Dungeoneering remaster.
Wow, okay, I didn't know. I mean, I can see how speedrunning Dungeoneering would be something that is like community coordinated, and something like that could be fun to brag about. But to have it as an official system, it reminds me of when World of Warcraft launched official hardcore servers, because the hardcore scene was developing from like a community ground roots perspective. I'm guessing that's what speedrunning was like here for Dungeoneering too. When things like this get officially created, again, nothing but good vibes, nothing but benefits to how things are. Love it.
Every floor type from Frozen all the way to Warped have their very own bronze, silver, and gold speed achievements for both solo play and groups of 5. Each of these achievements come with the title of the respective color for the subtle flex, and for those who need to be a little less subtle, Jagex added brand new quick chat options, so whenever your crush is online, you can try to impress them with how fast you can run. But
okay, here's cool with the titles and stuff. You know, when they're talking about cosmetics that they're introducing, why can't you get a cool cosmetic set that's bronze, silver, or gold, I mean, maybe it wouldn't look that cool, but I feel like they could make it look cool. There's plenty of cool looking outfits, armor sets, etc. that they've designed over the years. That stuff's way more fun to show off. But I guess that would be a cosmetic override, and a lot of people are going to turn that off, so maybe not.
Just understand that there will be high scores in-game, as well as on the main website, so they'll be able to tell if you're lying. I'm absolutely thrilled for this Dungeoneering remaster, and I can't wait to dive into the depths. I want to give a huge thanks to Jagex for having me bring you the information on the Dungeoneering remaster, and once again, I'm Rayo, and I'll see you around Demonheim.
Super cool! How exciting! I don't know who this Rio guy is, but he explained that very well. Love his calm demeanor. Got to the points with things. Hear what he was excited about? Yeah, I mean, good stuff. We love to hear it. Now I'm curious for my longtime players, my veteran friends out there, what do you guys think about this? Are you hyped? Is there things that you wish that would have been announced with it that didn't? Like, were there any expectations you had that got missed? Was this more than you were expecting? I'm super curious to hear down below. I now feel like I have a much better perspective. I thought it was just a graphical overhaul after, hearing some initial talk once this video came out. I know I'm a little bit late to the reaction, but all that sounds really cool. All that sounds like it's just going to make for a much more fun experience. And the thing I'm most excited for is to be able to do some Dungeoneering with my stream friends. It's going to make for some really fun streams, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. We're definitely going to do that when it comes out. So I'm looking forward to it. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And if this is the first time you're seeing me, you should check out my Unguided Quest series. There's 44 episodes or so out right now. So plenty of fun stuff to watch. You can watch me struggle, not using guides, wikis, or anything like that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.